Alright, in this video I'm going to be going over Pip and my loadouts for Pip. First, I want to get out of the way what Pip does and what he is. He is a support champion in Paladins at the moment. I believe before the beta went open on Steam that he was a DPS, but now he's support, and I have no idea how he was when he was a DPS, so moving on. His skills are Potion Launcher, Explosive Flask, Healing Potion, Weightless, and Evil Mojo. Potion Launcher is his main means of attacking. It is your left click, it does AoE damage, and it deals 600 damage per second. If you hit, of course. His Explosive Flask is his main form of a CC. His ult is also a crowd control, but I'll get onto that later. It deals 150 damage, and it slows by 50% for 2.5 seconds. It is also AoE. His third skill, Healing Potion, heals for 1,000 when it explodes in a radius. It is an AoE heal. It's rather small without getting the correct cards in the loadout. And it is his Q. His fourth skill is Weightless. This is his main means of engaging or disengaging. Usually you'll be using this to disengage, unless you're very aggressive. It allows you to jump higher for 3 seconds. It makes you faster. It doesn't say that here, but it does. And you can shoot and throw potions and all that nonsense. Oh no, you can't throw potions, I believe. I think I tried, that doesn't work. You can cancel it by pressing F again. That is your F button. And his ultimate is Evil Mojo. Uh, you throw a flask, it deals 200 damage, extremely negligible in my opinion, because after you deal a damage, they're going to be turned into a chicken with 1500 health, big eyes, an orange beak, and it lasts for 4 seconds. If you don't kill them while they're turned into a chicken, then they will revert back to the health that they had before this state took place. I'm going to assume plus the 200 damage. I've never killed with this, so I don't think that damage is dealt initially and only comes out if they survive, but I might be wrong. Uh, it it is a kind of like his potion launcher. Uh, it does area damage and can work on multiple enemies. It is his E. And this is what he says when he uses ultimate in game.
Let's make this interesting.
One thing I think I forgot to mention is all his skills have cooldowns, uh, except his regular attack, and all of his cooldowns are rather long, in my opinion. Well, they'll feel really long when you're in game, right? uh, Most of the loadouts will revolve around reducing these cooldowns so that you can take advantage of the particular skill to maximize your healing, your damage output, because this is only other combat related skill, and for one other reason, which will be explained later, and his weightless, so that you can get in and out as often as possible, as much as you need to. Alright, now we're up to his loadouts, the main topic of this video. I named them Pepperoni. Uh, that's what I thought of at the time. Uh, this is the main damage loadout and your 1v1 specialist loadout. At least that's how I'll refer to it. I believe it's pretty similar to the current #1 ranked Pip. If you go to leaderboards, yes, this guy's named Bojob. And I actually made this loadout without looking at that one before. Let me see it. I think it's here if I go create it. Let's Bojob. Browse. Yes, our loads are very similar, except I do not use sprint because I feel like this 10% is extremely negligible and unusable. Oh, let's see, he has one more. Let's check. Okay, yes, our loadouts differ here. I actually think this loadout is pretty good. It's a good middle of the ground loadout. Uh, I'm more of a min-maxer kind of guy, but this one's well-rounded. Okay. And my last loadout is Hopper, which I this is like a mobile healer loadout. Its its healing will not be as good as my healing focused one, of course, but this one gives you the most survivability out of all these loadouts. Alright, on to the first one, Pepperoni. Okay, so for this page, as I said before, what I did was I decided to maximize the potential of each skill, and that's how I ended up making these pages. Uh, let's see, this is my Pepperoni, this is my Pip MD, and this is my Hopper page for obvious reasons. You jump around a lot with this? Okay. So side tanks. You max side tanks so that your cooldown is reduced by 4 seconds. That puts you at a 4-second cooldown on it, I believe. Yes, see, 8 seconds. And then this lets you put out more damage, have more crowd control that you put out, slowing your enemies for your teammates to clean up, and also making it easier for you to land your attacks. And yes, this skill is very necessary also to lower the cooldown because when you pick up Acumen, see Acumen, it gives you 40% lifesteal. So that means every 4 seconds, the enemy is slowed for, if you hit your attack, they are slowed for 2.5 seconds. Becomes 3 seconds because of I picked this one up as well. Graviton increases the slow by 0.5 seconds, so it rounds out to 3 seconds. Yes. And that means you will not have 40% lifesteal for exactly 1 second if you're constantly landing your side tanks. At least I'm pretty sure that's how it should work out. So you'll be healing for about half your damage. I'll say 250 since if you land a straight shot of your auto attack, um, your potion launcher, see does 600, so you should be healing about 250 to I don't know, maybe a little more, a little less. Not too math ready right now. Uh, and the fourth card is Guile. I take Guile because it is very nice having one more shot to shoot immediately after you use your side tanks. You generate 1 ammo after using your explosive flask. I kept calling the side tanks it's explosive flask. Excuse me. And yeah, I feel like this is also the only card that I have different than Bojob. He uses sprint. Yeah, and like I said, I don't think it's worth it. I feel like this one will help allow you to deal more damage and will be more useful so you don't have to reload in those tight spots as often. And the last one is sturdy because I'm actually not sure why I picked this up. I just felt like all the other cards are garbage. And I've never really noticed a knockback on any of his skills while playing him, but apparently it exists. You also take 25% less self damage uh, from your auto attacks if you're within the range of it when you use it, which I think is half. Okay. So this page, oh, so this page maximizes your 1v1 potential because of those reasons. You pump out more damage, you can heal yourself while you're attacking. You also have a healing potion, and Pip just becomes very difficult to deal with in a 1v1 when you have all these uh, taken into account. Alright, my second page is Pip MD. So Pip MD, this revolves around the healing potion. Uh, Pip is actually I think not that good of a healer compared to the other ones. He's not as impactful, I'd like to say. Uh, I feel like the others are more consistent, and especially since you're in melee range. See, Pip has a ranged heal, so what you want to do is you want to stay back for most of the time, hoping not to get immediately flanked and killed. You shouldn't ever be too far from your team that they can't assist you when that happens, but you usually be way behind them. Other than the other two sports, Grok and Grover, I believe, who are usually melee range. Okay, so first I started out with reload to just reduce that cooldown on his heal as much as possible, and it decreases the cooldown by 2 seconds for each target hit. So you have 4 teammates. If you hit all four, this just comes off complete cooldown. You can use it immediately again. You cannot use it 3 times in succession though. I think. I'm pretty sure you can't. I've never been in a situation in a game where I was able to heal everyone on my team with the potion consistently because there was like a flanker who's never on the objective or something. But when we're in the little spawn room, I've been able to test that out. And then I followed up with Medicinal Excellence. Also put 4 points into it. That's Medicinal Excellence 4. It increases the radius of healing potion by 40%. This just makes it easier for you to reduce the cooldown and also allows you to heal more people. So this is extremely necessary if you're trying to be straight healing Pip. Because heal more people, better, right? And then I started to focus on survivability in those situations where I do get caught out. So what happens is I took Escape Artist 2. It reduces damage by 25%, but you cannot attack during weightless. This means if you were to use your weightless and then shoot, you will fall straight to the floor. Uh, so be very wary of that if you are not used to switching out your loads and stuff. If you go with mine, this 25% I decided to take because people like Kanessa, they deal a lot of damage, like 1,000 damage. So this reduces like 250 on the spot, which I think on uh, Pip while you're just trying to get away, not necessarily heal yourself, as I could have gone for a refreshing jog, which is 50 health, uh, over 4 seconds I think weightless last. No, 3 seconds. Over 3 seconds. So that would heal 150 versus the 250 that I would negate from going with Escape Artist. So I decided to go with that instead. And plus that's over time, it's not immediate. And then I went with Sprint just to make my getaway faster, so that it's less likely I'll be hit multiple times. It's 10%. I still don't think it's much, but I couldn't think of a better one to go with. Uh, Maybe Gift Giver, but I didn't think it was worth. I didn't think that 30% would be so significant. Well, in most situations, I prefer this for just simply getting out, because like you can't throw a potion while you're running away, as I mentioned before. So just simply to survive. And sturdy. For I think, like I mentioned before, just apparently I don't get knocked back and less self damage in the situation that I am close enough to get hit by my own auto attack or hitting someone right in front of me. Oh yeah. So on this page, you never want to be engaged. You're trying to be a healer, right? So you want to stay alive. Do not put yourself in danger. You're just helping your team as much as possible, trying to keep consistently heal them as often as you can while auto attacking the whole time. Like there's no reason not to be left clicking. Just put out consistent damage and don't die. Stick with your tanks and you should be alright. And then my final page is Hopper. This page maximizes your survivability. Why? Because A, you are always jumping around like all the time, and in combination with Refreshing Jog 3, this will allow you to heal 450 health. So every 4 seconds, you can potentially be healing 450 health, including your potion. So that's like 1450, because you should usually be in range with this build to heal. And this will allow you to get to your teammates as quickly as possible, get out, all that. I went with Gift Giver on this page because since you'll be very mobile on this, and you might be going for those long, super long, you might be far away from your teammates often, you might be super close, but in cases that you're not, this will allow you to make that decision to heal them without second guessing yourself at all. You'll be healing 90%, so you should be healing 900 health on top of your 450 over time for 3 seconds. Yeah, 450 over time. And I picked up Sprint because you'll be jumping a lot, so might as well take advantage of that 10% that I said wasn't so significant in my opinion. Lets you, oh, and you can also chase down people and get away faster, uh, as this would imply. And sturdy once again because no knockback and less self damage. And that pretty much rounds it out. Well, those are my pages. Hope you enjoyed the video.